Now, Edmonton Oilers fans have been waiting for this day for a long time. Connor McDavid has officially signed an extension with the team. $12.5 million for the next 2 years. The exact same contract he is on right now. This man is being so incredibly generous, and I think it might backfire because we have to look at the past decade for the Edmonton Oilers and what types of moves they have made when they have lots of cap space. So the only thing I would be concerned with if I'm McDavid is I might have given this team too much cap space to work with. Whenever the Edmonton Oilers have a lot of cap space, they seem to make the wrong decisions. However, on top of signing Connor McDavid, they're also going to be giving Jake Walman a 7x7, so this is actually a good extension. They use the money in the correct ways. What ways have they not used correct money in the past? This deal right here, 9.25 for the next 5 years. This is what happens when the Edmonton Oilers have too much cap space. They make signings like this. But you know what? Connor McDavid is putting faith in the management. And if Connor McDavid believes that they can make the right decisions, I'm going to believe that too. The Edmonton Oilers have the next 3 years to win a Stanley Cup. But in this video, I'm doing 5 years. 5 years with the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to try to win a couple Stanley Cups over the next 5 years. I'm going to do everything in my power to win this team Stanley Cups. I don't care if we do zero drafting for this entire video. It is all about winning Stanley Cups, and that's what we're going to do with the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid's locked down for the next 3, signed probably the greatest contract in NHL history. He is giving the Edmonton Oilers a chance to win. They just have to do the right things with the money they have. Do not give anybody $13 million. Do not make any stupid signings like re-signing Stuart Skinner for $8 million because I feel like you guys would do that. I feel like you guys would look Stuart Skinner in the eye based on his previous performances and be like, yeah, here's $8 million for the next 7 seasons. Do not throw an absolute bag at Mattias Ekholm. He is not the player he used to be. He is 35 years old. He's going to start aging out. Truthfully, I think he's already started to age out a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. Do not give this man like $8 or $9 million. Do not do something stupid with the money McDavid left on the table. So with all that being said, let's go make a couple trades in year number 1. We have 5 seasons to win as many Stanley Cups as possible. Let's go ahead and do that. Also, if you think Connor McDavid is the most generous player in NHL history, because he clearly is, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like, I can't believe this man accepted 12.5 for the next 2. Like, he really went to their management and said, give me 12.5 for the next 2 years. That's what I'll sign for. I'm going to give you 3 seasons to win a Stanley Cup. Y'all better figure it out. Also, before we trade for Joey Daccord, because that's who I'm bringing to the team, we are trading for Joey Daccord. This team clearly needs a goaltender. Matthias Janmark, you're being sent over to the Anaheim Ducks. I need to free up your cap hit. And now that we've freed up that money, let's go get Joey Daccord. All right, so this is the move. Stuart Skinner, a 2nd rounder, a 3rd rounder, and Ty Emberson. All of this is going to be sent over to the Seattle Kraken. Joey Daccord, welcome to the team. You're the goaltender for the future. And if I'm being honest, I think this is actually a move the Edmonton Oilers might make in real life. Do not be surprised if at the trade deadline, they go pick up Joey Daccord or something. I mean, of course, it's going to depend on how the Seattle Kraken are playing. If they're competing for a playoff spot, they wouldn't trade him. But if they're a bottom 5 team or something, Edmonton throw an absolute bag at Seattle. So here's the team we're rocking. Basically, outside of our first line and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, this team is not looking elite. Like, it's actually a little bit scary what this team could potentially be rocking in the future, but we're not going to worry about that too much. We know what Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl can do themselves, and even Zach Hyman. We've added Joey Daccord to this team. It's time for Edmonton to finally win a Stanley Cup. Now at the trade deadline, we're dominating. First in the entire league, a 40-17-6 record. Second in the entire league, the Detroit Red Wings, a little bit questionable. Third in the entire league, the Nashville Predators, even more questionable. We're not going to worry about this. The Edmonton Oilers are the best team in the entire league. Connor McDavid's leading the way, 76 points. Draisaitl 71, Nugent-Hopkins 57, Zach Hyman 55. If we're going to make any adjustments to this team, it's probably going to be some scoring on the bottom 6. Joey Daccord has been absolute beast this season. 32 wins, 2 shouts, a 920 and a 258. If you were to ask me, when free agency opened, Edmonton should have thrown a bag at Joey Daccord. And when I say throw a bag at Joey Daccord, I don't mean throw money at him, because obviously he was already signed with the Seattle Kraken. I mean you throw a bag of assets. You throw 3 first-round picks in that deal if you have to. You do whatever it takes in order to bring that man to the team. But that's neither here nor there. We're just going to try to find somebody from the bottom 6. I don't care who you are. As long as you can play a role on this team, you're going to be a great addition. And Bukestad, I'm looking to acquire you. I actually think this would make a lot of sense. A 2nd and 3rd rounder, Bukestad, welcome to the team. And I think that's actually probably going to be the lone move we make. I mean, if we have enough cap space, maybe I can make another one. Paul Cotter, could we get a deal done with you? Probably not. Yeah, like when I said we're probably not going to do any drafting in this video, I was 1000% serious. We are trading everything away in order to win right now. So Paul Cotter, welcome to the team. We already added Bukestad. We're making a deep push for the Stanley Cup right now. Now, who could have expected this? To finish out the season, the Florida Panthers are going to be the best team in the entire league. That's going to be followed by the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to be third, a 49-25-8 record. Like, we had really solid numbers, don't get me wrong. 3.44 goals per game, 3.02 allowed, but I'm not too worried about how many goals we were allowing, because when Joey Daccord was starting for us, we were looking elite. Calvin Pickard is kind of inflating those numbers quite a bit. Connor McDavid, 98 points, Leon Draisaitl, 95, Zach Hyman, 78. A little disappointed that these two guys didn't have 100 points each, but you know what? It is what it is. And then when it comes to Joey Daccord, 41 wins this season, 2 shouts, a 914 to 280. And then taking a look at Calvin Pickard's numbers, yeah, he inflated our goals allowed by quite a bit. Like, he played in 18 games compared to Joey Daccord's 68. He allowed 60 goals to Joey Daccord's 184. Joey Daccord played in significantly more games, so the goals against makes sense on why he allowed more goals, but Pickard was allowing a ton of goals in only 18 games. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Granted, you are the backup. I don't really care what you do. Now, somehow we're taking on the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round. I have absolutely no clue how that's the case. Just don't lose to Chicago of all teams. Like, the last thing I need this team doing is somehow folding to the Chicago Blackhawks of all teams. Like, there is no reason the Chicago Blackhawks should even be in the postseason right now, so Edmonton realistically should sweep this team. The fact that we've won both games by only 1 goal is a bit disappointing. Like, we should be winning every game right now by 6 goals, especially against the Chicago Blackhawks. We're waking up in game number 3. We close out game number 4. We can't even sweep the Chicago Blackhawks. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? There is no reason Chicago should be putting any pressure. There is no reason they should have won back-to-back games. If we blow a 3-0 series lead in our first Stanley Cup appearance to the Chicago Blackhawks of all teams, then this video is just completely rigged. I am sorry, but we're not blowing a 3-0 series lead to the Chicago Blackhawks. We might blow a 3-0 series lead to the Chicago Blackhawks. Luckily, we're waking up in the third period, but this was stupid. Like, there is no way Chicago really put that much pressure on us. They are not that good of a team. So we're moving on to the second round, and we get a Battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers taking on the Calgary Flames. Y'all better wake up. Plain and simple, wake up against the Calgary Flames. If you play against them like you did the Chicago Blackhawks, okay, we don't have to worry about it. This team is locked in. Back-to-back shutouts, but we were up 3-0 in the series. It's time for us to collapse once again. I had a little bit of confidence until we lost game number 4, but we don't have to worry about it anymore. We're moving on to the conference finals. Edmonton is back where they belong. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche are definitely one team you cannot sleep on. They have a lot of amazing pieces, but the Edmonton Oilers might be a little bit better. We've gone ahead and split the series with the Colorado Avalanche. Game 5 is the most important game. Can we steal that one? It doesn't look like it. We're off to Game 6 elimination. The most important game of the video so far. Game 6 against the Colorado Avalanche. Can we steal this one and force game number 7? Well, we're picking up 2 goals in the first period to Colorado's 1. Moving into the second, we pick up another 2 goals, but the Avalanche aren't going to be responding. The third period is going to decide this game, and who's picking up the most important goal? Troy Stecher is. We're off to Game 7 against Colorado. We have a chance of making it to our 3rd straight Stanley Cup final. So all it takes is one more win. A Game 7 victory against the Colorado Avalanche, and we're going to be moving on. We're allowing 2 goals in the first period. That's not ideal. It's time for the offense on this team to wake up, and that's what we're doing. Back-to-back goals. Zach Hyman scored a late one in the first period. Leon Draisaitl's picked up a power play goal in the second. Can we score again in the third period when it matters? It doesn't look like it, but neither is Colorado. So overtime's going to sell this one. McDavid, I need you to put the team on your back, and I need you to score that important goal, but that's not going to happen. Logan O'Connor, OT winner, is going to be eliminating us. Nah, this is heartbreaking. Edmonton was looking to make it back to the Cup final. We're losing to a Logan O'Connor OT winner. I won't allow this to happen again. Okay, this is really funny. I know I didn't show it, but yeah, the Colorado Avalanche, Stanley Cup champions, they matched up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Clearly, this was a very competitive series, and it was. It went all the way to Game 7. Toronto was up 3-0 in the series. Yep, the Toronto Maple Leafs were up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final. Lost 4 games in a row. That's just tough. Nothing else to say. Draisaitl, Hyman, McDavid, y'all kind of let me down. McDavid was less than a point a game. That can never happen. Hyman was less than a point a game. Draisaitl was less than a point a game. What are y'all doing? You're supposed to be the superstars on this team. Joey Daccord, you were an amazing pickup. 10 wins, 3 shots, a 927 and a 234. You did everything that you had to. Unfortunately, it's still not going to be enough. The Oilers are falling in the conference finals, but as I said earlier, that will never happen again. Now, before we even get to the draft, because there's actually no point even stopping at the draft, we should handle some extensions. Paul Cotter Cotter, I would like to keep you around for multiple years, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Could we do 2.2 for 1 season? It looks like it. Paul Cotter is going to be sticking around. He's an important piece for us. Kulak, Ekholm, you guys are likely going to be walking. Granted, Matthias Ekholm is still an 88 overall. He hasn't really regressed a ton, so I guess we can bring him back. And at $5.6 million for 1 season, I think that's a pretty good deal. It's less than what he's getting paid right now. Kasperi Kapanen, I don't really plan on bringing you back to the team, but what are you asking for? 1.7 million. Can we do 1.6? I'll do 1.6 for 1 season. That's actually not too bad for him. And then with basically everyone else here, they're all going to be walking. Unless they sign two-way contracts, of course. So there's no point stopping at the draft here. We have no picks. I literally traded everything away. And it was sort of worth it. Like, we made it all the way to Game 7 of the conference finals. If I have to trade all of our picks away in order for us to see success, I'm doing it. So I basically signed everyone I can to two-way contracts. For some reason, a guy like Quinn Hudson, he is not willing to sign a two-way contract. Nope, he wants $1.2 million on a one-way deal. That is not happening for a 76 overall. Like, I don't know why you think you're worth that. It's just not going to happen. I guess I can qualify you as an RFA. That's not the end of the world, and that's probably what I'm going to do here. But yeah, everyone else here, they're going to be walking. And then Connor Unger, I'll keep you on the team as well. Here's 2 years, $900K. Now, when it comes to handing out extensions, I think the only extension we're going to give out this season is to Matt Savoy. $4 million for 1 season, though, is absolutely wild. You're bugging. You were an 80 overall. You played 4th line minutes for me last season. I'm not giving you that. Matt Japani, I can do $3.6 million for 1 season. That is not a terrible contract. It's exactly what you're getting paid right now, so that's not going to hurt us too much. Bukestad, how much are you going to be looking for? 2.2 million. How about we do 2.1 for the next 2 seasons? I think that's pretty fair for you. You play good bottom 6 minutes for me, and I want to keep you on this team. And then I think those are really the only extensions we have to work on, so let's go make some free agent signings. Now we got to bring in some cheap players for the bottom 6, and one of these cheap guys I'm looking at, I think, is Charlie Coyle. 2.2 for the next 2 years. I think you could be a really good 4th line centerman for us, so that's who we're going to bring in. Charlie Coyle, welcome to the team. And then outside of Charlie Coyle, I think we only really need to bring in one more forward. And you know what, Tarasenko? I see the potential in a move like this. So here's 2.4 for 1 season. I think you could be a great player for us. I don't know who's really going to outbid me there, but I guess we'll wait and see. Now, when it comes to a backup goaltender, I'm just looking for somebody really cheap. And you know what? Calvin Pickard might actually just turn out to be that goaltender. I didn't plan on bringing him back to the team, but why not? Here's 1.2 million for 1 season. Welcome back, Pickard. And then when it comes to a couple of defensemen, our top 4 is basically set, so we're just looking at third pairing guys. Jacob Bryson, I think you'd be a great third pairing guy for me. Here's 2.1 million for 2 seasons. And then on top of Bryson, we'll bring in one other player. And you know what? Jake Bean, I think he could be a good player for us, so here's 1.7 for the next 2. So with those moves made, we're ready for season number 2. Now, last season was definitely a disappointment. We weren't able to win a Stanley Cup. However, things will be different. McDavid, Hyman, Draisaitl, I'm expecting you guys to do bigger things this season. Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, and Tarasenko, I think this is going to be a sleeper line. Tarasenko is going to return to his prime. He's picking up 30 goals this season. I can see it all happening. And then when it comes to our bottom 6, that's actually in a better spot than it was last season, so I'm feeling pretty confident. When it comes to the defense, that's looking pretty solid as well. Even Darnell Nurse is up to an 87 overall. Never would have expected that. And then when it comes to our goaltender, Joey Daccord is up to an 86 overall. He's looking to build on that postseason success, and so is the team. Now, at one point, things were not looking good for the Edmonton Oilers. This team is playing 500 hockey, and then I made a change. Zach Hyman, I've moved you down to the second line. Vladimir Tarasenko, I moved you up to the first line, and after we did that, this team has been dominating. A 35-24-5 record. I'm not even concerned about our record right now, based on how good we have been since we made those moves. Leon Draisaitl, 79 points so far. Evan Bouchard, 71. Connor McDavid, 68. It kind of bothers me that Evan Bouchard has more points than you, but that's neither here nor there. We're not even going to worry about it. Vladimir Tarasenko, 22 goals and 20 assists for 42 points. I just want to point out he was minus 10 before I moved him onto the first line. Now he's plus 6. Even the second line is looking better with the moves we made. I think this team is just about ready for a postseason run. Joey Daccord, 26 wins, 1 shutout, an 895 and a 321. Not ideal. These numbers are not ideal whatsoever. However, I'm not too concerned because I have seen this team do more with less. However, in saying that, it probably wouldn't hurt if we made a trade here, so let's try to do that. Alright, so I'm looking to pull off a big time deal with the Vegas Golden Knights right now. I'll give up a future second round pick, but if I have to, I'm willing to give up a first rounder. Podkolzin, Bukestad, and a second round pick sent over to Vegas. We bring in Pavel Dorfia. He's signed to a 5x5. I think he can be an amazing top 6 player for us. I don't know how much more it's going to take, but here's a 5th and 6th round pick. If I have to throw in a first rounder, I'm willing to do so, but we don't have to worry about that. So Pavel Dorofeyev, welcome to the team. You're going to be a game changer for us. Now, I think the Pavel Dorofeyev trade is probably going to be the only one we make here, so it's time for us to get ready for the end of the season. I'm kind of hesitant to play Dorofeyev on the top line, though. Tarasenko's been looking pretty solid there, so I think we're going to keep Tarasenko on the top line, and then Pavel Dorofeyev, you're going to play second line minutes. Granted, Tarasenko, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman would be a really good second line. So we're actually going to do that. Okay, respectfully, there should be no way we lose in the first round to the LA Kings, because there is no way Carter George is ready for the bright lights. And yes, Carter George is currently the starter for the LA Kings. How on earth is that the case? I have no clue. Pavel Dorofeyev, I'm very curious to see what you did since joining the team. 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points in 18 games. That's what I'm looking for. That's the type of production I need from you. Vladimir Tarasenko, I think you did absolutely nothing to finish out the season, and that's not really ideal. But you know what? We're not going to question it, because in the postseason, he's going to go on a crazy run. When the lights are the brightest, Tarasenko is going to show up, because that's what he does. The Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings are facing off. It was only a matter of time before we saw this matchup. So it's LA versus Edmonton, 2 great teams going at it. It was only a matter of time before we saw this matchup. Like, these 2 teams play each other every postseason, and you know what? It's become a yearly classic at this point. Well, it's become a classic for the Edmonton Oilers because they win every season. LA's looking to change that, but I don't know if that's going to happen here, because our team is looking absolutely elite. I don't really care what we did during the regular season, because this team's going to step up in the postseason. We've won 3 games in a row. Let's make that 4 games in a row and move on to the second round. Edmonton's not looking to mess around here, but maybe they are, because they're going to drop game number 5. Do not blow a 3-1 series lead. Last season, we almost blew a 3-0 series lead. This time, we're not even going to game 7. So once again, we're going to have another battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames matching up. I can't see the Calgary Flames beating this Edmonton Oilers team, especially with the way Joey Decord's been playing. Bro is absolutely locked in. He allowed 3 goals in this series. 3 goals in 4 games, 2 shutouts to start it off. Joey Decord is the man. He is absolutely locked in. I hope we lose. Yep, I want the Edmonton Oilers to lose. Even though this is an Edmonton Oilers rebuild, I want them to lose because they're taking on the St. Louis Blues. We're going to sweep St. Louis, aren't we? Never mind, no we aren't. We're going to take them down 5 games, and we're in the Cup final. Taking on the Detroit Red Wings of all team, wasn't expecting that. I mean, truthfully, I was expecting to see the Florida Panthers every season, but I guess that's not going to be the case. We have the Detroit Red Wings. We are 4 games away from winning the Stanley Cup. It's time to win those 4 games. We've won the first 2. We've won 3 of the first 4. A 3-1 series lead for the Edmonton Oilers. Can they close it out? Yes, they can. The Edmonton Oilers are finally Stanley Cup champions. In year number 1 of the McDavid extension, we're already seeing success. Now, y'all might have been questioning the Vladimir Tarasenko signing. Just wait until you see what this man did during the postseason, because Tarasenko steps up. I can't even see his numbers. He clearly did nothing for me. You know who else did nothing for me? Pavel Dorofeyev. Okay, where were these guys? Matt Savoy, 10 goals, 6 assists for 16 points. I wasn't expecting you to do too much. I haven't even given you an extension yet. That's going to hurt us. But what happened to the 2 guys I thought would carry the way? Pavel Dorofeyev, 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. You were playing top line minutes. Not sure what went wrong there. Vladimir Tarasenko, 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. You let me down big time, but who cares? We're Stanley Cup champs because Joey Decord locked in. 16 wins, 2 shouts, a 925 and a 222. Joey Decord is that man. When the lights were the brightest, he stepped up. That's what the Edmonton Oilers have been looking for. They've been looking for a goaltender like Joey Decord for a long time. Give up your next 5 years of first round picks. I don't care what it takes. Find a way to get Joey Decord. So we've already seen success in year number 2 of the rebuild. We've already won a Stanley Cup, but of course the job isn't finished. We have a handful more years to go. Now we actually have a couple picks in this draft, including our first rounder. And with our first round pick, we're getting a medium. A medium top 4 potential defenseman. More than likely, he will be traded. We also happen to have the 224th overall pick in the draft. So I'll go with this guy from the Swift Current Broncos. What potential does he have? Low top 9. If I'm being honest, I wasn't really expecting to get too much with the 224th overall. So we have $17 million to work with. Matt Savoy, you have to work with me a little bit, and you're definitely working with me. 5.1 for the next 2 seasons. I want to do 3 seasons though, because that will keep you around for the rest of the rebuild, and we should be able to do that. So we'll do 5.6 for the next 3 seasons. Matt Savoy is going to be sticking around. Matthias Ekholm, how much are you looking for? You're still an 87 overall. I'm going to be completely honest. I was fully expecting this man to be like a 72 overall by now. He has not really regressed whatsoever. So if that's going to continue to be be the case. We'll just keep on bringing Ekholm back. I'll give you a no movement because what's the difference between that and a no trade? Very little, but it gets your contract interest up a little bit more. We'll do $5.8 million for 1 season. Him and Savoy are going to be coming back to the team, and then we'll figure something out with the bottom 6. We still have $8 million remaining. Paul Cotter, I feel like you're going to be asking for too much. Maybe not. Paul Cotter, $2.8 million. 2.8 for Paul Cotter, considering he's an 85 overall. That is an absolute steal. Tarasenko, I don't think you're going to be giving us a steal like that. You want 5.3, so that's not going to happen. Kasperi Kapanen, we could probably bring you back, and at this price tag, why not? I'll do 1.9 million, and I'll even give you a modified no trade. I'll do 36% team protection. Kasperi Kapanen's going to be sticking around. So we're entering the final year of the McDavid contract. We're looking to bring him back to the team. He wants 15.1 million. I think it's about time you get paid. Like, you have taken pay cuts far too many times. Here's $14 million for the next 7 seasons. McDavid's going to be returning. And then when it comes to Zach Hyman, how much do I want to give Hyman? Like, he's an 88 overall at 35 years old. I feel like it could start regressing pretty quick. But you know what? He's been a solid player for a long time. Here's $8 million for the next 2. Hopefully we can keep you around for the rest of the rebuild. Now, we need to sign a couple guys, including a backup goaltender. And Soderblom, $800K for the next 2. That's an absolute steal for an 82 overall. And then when it comes to one forward, I don't know who that's going to be. We have about $5 million to work with, so we should be able to actually bring in a pretty decent forward. And that player could be Evander Kane. It would be very ironic to bring him back to the team, but I think we're actually going to pass up on Evander Kane, and instead we're going with Ryan O'Reilly. 3.6 for 1 season. He's going to be a great centerman for us, and that is going to leave us with a little bit of money. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a great player for the bottom 6 with the amount of money we have left, but we can still try. Now, with the remaining money we have left, this is a no-brainer. Stick on the ice legend Mason Appleton. Welcome to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers are coming off a Stanley Cup, and I think the only thing we're missing right now is probably a second line sniper, so we'll try to acquire one at the trade deadline. Mangiapane, you're 85 overall. We have you locked down for this season. I think I'm going to try to trade you at the deadline and get a sniper. I think that's all we're missing on the second line. When it comes to the defense, that's looking amazing. No weaknesses there whatsoever. And then when it comes to goaltending, why did Joey Daccord drop 2 overalls after winning a Stanley Cup? Who knows? But all I know is this man shows up when the lights are the brightest, and he's going to do so again. Now, compared to where the Edmonton Oilers were last season at the trade deadline, things are looking great. Third in the entire league, a 38-17-9 record, 3.95 goals per game is amazing, but the defense is better this season, and that was the main concern last season. 2.86 goals allowed, things are looking great, especially with Connor McDavid having 81 points at the deadline, 40 goals, 41 helpers, he's looking to dominate. Draisaitl 79, Evan Bouchard 77, Matt Savoy 64 points, Pavel Dorofeev, he's got 62. Mangiapane, although you don't have amazing numbers right now, like you only have 21 goals and 19 assists for 40 points, I'm not going to trade you away because you're plus 28 right now. So clearly he's fitting his role on the second line, so there's no point moving on from him. Joey Daccord, 33 wins, 4 shots, a 912 and a 275. I don't really think it makes sense for us to change too much on this team, but I will look at making one addition to the bottom 6. So I think this is what the deal is going to look like. Coyle and a first round pick sent over to the Ducks. Frank Vatrano is going to be brought in, 84 overall. He's going to play some good bottom 6 minutes. They're going to retain half of his contract, and we're also going to get a third round pick back in the deal. He's going to be an amazing addition to our bottom 6. And that's actually not going to be the only move we make, because now 2 third-rounders and a second is going to be sent over to Chicago. Tyler Bertuzzi at 50% retains also going to be brought in. Now, to finish off the season, the Oilers look pretty solid. Third in the entire league, a 49-22-11 record. The offense is looking great. The defense is looking great as well. Everything about this team is looking great. And what's even better is knowing that this team is going to step up when the lights are the brightest. Once the postseason comes around, everyone on this team is going to step up because we've seen them do it before. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, I don't care about the regular season numbers whatsoever. You always show up in the postseason, so it's time to do that again, and you're going to have to do that against Thatcher Demko. So it's the battle of 2 legends right now. NHL 25 Thatcher Demko taking on Joey Daccord. If you can beat Thatcher Demko, then you can prove that you are that man. But we're going to get shut out in game number 1. And I really shouldn't be surprised because we're playing Thatcher Demko, but we're going to shut them out in game 2. Joey Daccord is competing with Thatcher Demko. I guess one thing we do have to remember, this isn't NHL 25 anymore. This is NHL 26. Thatcher Demko is not the same player he used to be anymore. We have a 3-1 series lead. Let's close out in game number 5 and we're moving on. Who cares about NHL 25 Thatcher Demko when we have NHL 26 Joey Daccord? Granted, I do think I've already given the NHL 26 title to Joseph Woll because every time I've had that man on my team so far, he has absolutely dominated. We're taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the second round. The first time that we haven't seen the Calgary Flames in the second round. Can we win game number 1? No, we can't. We're going to be dropping that one. Can we respond in game 2? Yes, we we can. Are we going to be down 3-1 this series? It looks like it. We are not off to a great start. However, with the amount of amazing talent on this team, I know Edmonton can make this comeback. Ryan O'Reilly's picking up a shorthanded goal. We're exchanging goals in the second period. I need the top six to take over in this one, and they didn't do that. Granted, if our depth scoring is leading us to victories, then I know for a fact we can make this comeback. Our bottom six scoring won us game number 5. Now it's time for the top six to win us game 6 and game 7. The top players took a game off for us, so now it's time for them to lock back in. McDavid and Alex Turcotte picking up the first 2 goals. Okay, that's some very interesting goal scorers. We're not going to respond the second period. This has been a very interesting series, to say the least. We're losing 4-0. The top 6 did not show up for me in the past 2 games. I don't know what happened with our offense, but it just completely vanished. And if things couldn't get bad enough for the Edmonton Oilers, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? The Vegas Golden Knights, the team that we should have beaten the second round. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. We still have 2 seasons left. McDavid's going to have a chip on his shoulder, especially with how he performed here. 5 points in 11 games. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? Connor McDavid, 5 points in 11 postseason games, being outscored by Ryan O'Reilly, who played third line minutes and sucked the entire season. Yeah, we're not doing this. Nope, we are getting back. Joey Daccord, another incredible postseason. Let's just take a look at this guy's postseason numbers, because he has been an absolute dog. A 922, a 926, and a 927, a 234, a 222, and a 237. In the 3 seasons he's played with the Edmonton Oilers, he has been an absolute god. Unfortunately, though, it's only been good enough for 1 Stanley Cup, but we're going to change that entering the final 2 seasons. Now, with us only having late round draft picks, we're not going to be walking away with any superstars, so it was a very forgettable draft for us. So just taking a look at the guys on expiring deals, there's only one player I'm looking at bringing back, and that's going to be Mangiapane. However, I'm not planning on bringing Mangiapane back to the team so we can actually keep him here, but instead I'm looking to do a sign and trade. So I'll do 5.4 for the next 4 years with Mangiapane. If he accepts that, he's likely going to be moved, and that's going to be the case. So we're doing a sign and trade with Mangiapane, and I think he's going to be sent over to Utah. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. A first rounder, Mangiapane, and a second round pick sent over to Utah. Dylan Guenther and Duda are going to be both acquired. Dylan Guenther is going to be an amazing player on our second line. Duda is going to help the defense quite a bit. He's going to be a good third pairing guy. I think we're low-key fleecing Utah right now. I mean, it also helps that our first round pick has so much value because we don't have enough defensemen under contract right now. But of course, we're eventually going to sign some. So hopefully this package is going to be enough. They're going to be rejecting it. What if I take Duda out of this deal? What if we throw this massive deal right here for Dylan Guenther? And it looks like that one's going to be accepted. Now, we're not quite done with the deals yet. Now, Darnell Nurse is going to be shipped out with the first round pick. Why on earth are the San Jose Sharks interested in Darnell Nurse? I have no clue. But we're going to pick up Dahlman in this deal. He's an 84 overall. He can basically replace Darnell Nurse for significantly less. And then Cardwell, you can play some good bottom 6 minutes for me. We're fleecing them. Now, before we make any more trades, it's probably important that we bring Evan Bouchard back to the team, and he is looking for an absolute bag, but he's earned it. He's been our top defenseman for a long time. Here's $15.2 million for the next 8. And then when it comes to Nugent Hopkins, we're just going to ride out his contract. Probably the exact same with Mason Appleton. Also, Soderblom, I'll bring you back to the team, $850K for 2 seasons. All right, now this could be a little bit difficult, so I'm going to throw some extra money at Sean Durzi, 7.9 for the next 6 seasons. He's basically going to end up replacing Darnell Nurse. They're basically the exact same overall. We're going to save a little bit of money with Sean Durzi. I'm a little concerned we might not be able to get him because we're not really meeting his organizational interest. Also, we do have to fill out our third pairing, so Heinola, here's $1 million for 1 season. And then I believe I saw Nick Jensen only asking for $800K. I don't care how old bro is. Yes, he's 37 years old, but he only wants $800K, so this is a steal. And then Boquist, I can bring you in as well. You're only looking for $800K. How about we do multiple years? I'll do 2 years, $900K. You can stick around for the rest of the rebuild. Now, this is certainly not ideal, but we're going to be missing out on Sean Durzi. He's going to be joining the Boston Bruins, so we're going to have to find somebody else in free agency. Alright, I'm hoping we can somehow pull off this miracle of a trade. Is this enough for Edvinsson? I highly doubt it. Wow, we fleeced them. There is no reason you should have accepted that. We were not offering nearly enough. But our defense is set for the rest of this video, basically. We need to make a couple more additions to the forward core, but I think the core pieces that we have here look pretty solid. Like, all we really have to do is bring in one more bottom 6 player. Mark Kostelic, you can be that guy. Here's $1.5 million for 1 season. You can play a great bottom 6 role on this team. And you know what, Hoglander, I'll actually bring you to the team as well. You're a stick on the ice legend. Here's $2.3 million for the next 2 years. Hopefully you accept immediately, and it looks like you are. Now, last season was certainly a disappointment. We were looking for another Stanley Cup but that didn't happen. This season, though, it definitely will. The top 6 is looking the best it's ever been. When it comes to the defense, the first pairing is amazing. The second pairing is going to be even better next season because we have 2 great young players, and both of them are going to develop. And then when it comes to goaltending, this makes no sense. Why is he regressing? You know what? I'm not going to question it. Joey Daccord, I don't care if you're an 83 overall. You continue to step up for me in the postseason. But why on earth have you regressed? You put up 3 amazing seasons, and each season you keep getting worse. It doesn't make sense. You're only 32. It's not like you're that old. Now, at first, I wasn't really too happy with the Edmonton Oilers. Like, 3rd in the Pacific Division, what's this team doing? Then I realized 3rd in the Pacific Division is also 3rd in the entire league. So yeah, we're not really doing too bad. The Pacific Division just happens to have a lot of great teams right now. Leon Draisaitl, 92 points. Connor McDavid, 82 points. Bouchard, 60 points. Matt Savoy, 57. I'm starting to think it probably wouldn't hurt if we made an addition to the defense. I just feel like our third pairing isn't quite good enough. Granted, Joey Daccord isn't having the greatest regular season, but who cares what his regular season numbers look like? It's the postseason that matters, and the postseason is where Joey Daccord steps up. So I'll take a quick look at who's available, but if nobody jumps out at me, we're likely not going to be making a trade. And you know what? I think we actually will make one trade. Boquist, I'm going to send you over to Winnipeg. Chatfield's going to join the team. He's going to be a good defensive defenseman on the third pairing. They're going to be rejecting that offer, but once I throw in a couple 7th round picks, that will make the difference. So here's a 7th rounder for 2029, 2030. Is that enough for Chatfield? It looks like it will be. So that's going to be the lone trade we make. Let's go win another Stanley Cup. So to finish out the season, the Edmonton Oilers are going to finish as the 3rd best team behind the Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes. A 49, 25, and 8 record, 3.88 goals scored, but 3.05 allowed. I'm not worried. I am not worried in the slightest. And why is that? Because we have Joey Daccord. And name a time where he hasn't shown up for me in the postseason. You can't, because every time this man has been in the postseason, he has found a way to show up. The regular season numbers, a little bit concerning, but those are regular season numbers. It's time for the postseason where it matters. It's a Battle of Alberta in the first round. Watch Joey Daccord lock in. So we all know what Joey Daccord's about. He's about winning games in the postseason, and that's what he's going to do. We're winning game number 1, but dropping game number 2. We're not off to the greatest start defensively, but I know that can turn around for this Edmonton Oilers team because we have a lot of amazing pieces. We just have to win game number 3, and that's exactly what we're doing. And how are we going to win that game? Well, it's a shutout from Joey Daccord. We split the series with the Calgary Flames. Game number 5 is going to be very important. I need another Joey Daccord shutout. I need him to carry the way, and maybe Joey Daccord is just not that man anymore. Maybe the regression has caught up to Joey Daccord, and maybe he's just not going to be good enough for us anymore. We're moving into an elimination game. We're picking up 2 goals in the first period to Calgary's 1. Moving into the second, they're going to be responding. What has happened to the great Joey Daccord I've known in the past? Because he has just not been good enough. I need a Joey Daccord masterclass in overtime, and are we going to get that? Yes, we are. But our offense can't find the back of the net. Dustin Wolf is putting up a masterclass as well. It's masterclass versus masterclass, but it looks like Joey Daccord's coming out on top. We're off to game 7. That was a big time goal from Zach Hyman, but it's still not enough. We have to win game 7. Now let's see if Edmonton can build on that momentum. Goaltending has certainly been questionable in this series, but it's going to wake up in game number 7. We're picking up the first 2 goals of the game. Jake Wallman has a hat trick in this one. What is going on? Our defense scored 5 goals in this one. A Jake Wallman hat trick. Evanson's picking up a goal. Chatfield's picking up a goal. Savoy's picking up a goal. It's a shutout for the Edmonton Oilers, and we're moving on to the second round. Joey Daccord, that's what I was looking for. After having a couple bad games, Joey Daccord decided to step up when the lights were the brightest, and that's exactly what he did. 2 shutouts in the first round. That's what I'm looking for. He's been winning the big games. I just need him to win a handful more games, and once he does that, we can be Stanley Cup champions. We've won the first 2, but we're going to be dropping game number 3, and we're allowing 9 goals in that one. That is not a good sign, but you know what's a great sign? Having a 3-1 series lead. Can we win one more game and move on to the conference finals? We might be allowing a lot of goals in the postseason, but we're in the conference finals, and that's the only thing that matters. We're taking on the Vancouver Canucks. It's another Pacific Division team, but none of these Pacific Division teams have been the Vegas Golden Knights. So Vegas must have fell in the first round. They were absolute frauds, but it doesn't matter if they were frauds or not because they took on Vancouver, and now we're down to Vancouver. So we're down 3-2 in the series. Edmonton, this is a must win for you. We're going to be allowing the first goal of the game. We might be allowing the second goal as well, but we're going to be responding with back-to-back of our own. Can we pick up another goal in the third period? It doesn't look like it. We're going to be falling to the Vancouver Canucks. This is a heartbreaking loss. We should have walked away with another Stanley Cup, but the Vancouver Canucks are going to find a way to take us down. We have one Stanley Cup in the past 4 years. We have to win one more. I need this Edmonton Oilers team to walk away with at least 2 Stanley Cups in this 5-year period. The Vancouver Canucks are Stanley Cup champions. I need to know what their record was, because at the end of the day, they took on Vegas in the first round, and Vegas was the best team in the entire league, meaning they were a wildcard team, but they had a 44-30-8 record. So let's not act like the Vancouver Canucks were a terrible team by any means. They only won 5 less games than us. That's not really that big of a difference. So Vancouver, I'd like to apologize. I didn't put enough respect on your name. I should have put a bit more. Dylan Guenther, you showed up for me. 21 points. Pavel Dorfia, 19 points. You showed up. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. The fact that you guys aren't a point a game right now is an absolute disgrace. You were a 98 overall and a 95 overall. Find the back of the net for me. Like Nugent Hopkins, who is 36 years old and an 84 overall, picked up 14 points. 1 less than Draisaitl and 2 less than McDavid. What are you guys doing? Meanwhile, Joey Daccord, what the numbers look like? A 914 and 261, certainly not the numbers we've seen in the past. But let's not act like these are terrible numbers by any means. Now, we don't have too many picks in the draft because, of course, we've traded basically everything away. We will make one notable pick, though, and that's going to be this lowly potential player. Unfortunately, though, they're not going to help us win a Stanley Cup. Now, heading into the final season, we're going to have $8 million in cap space. Nugent Hopkins, you were one of our best postseason performers, so I better bring you back. How about I do $3 million with a no movement? For what Nugent Hopkins did for me in the postseason, I feel like I need to bring him back to the team. So that's what we're going to do. Marcus Stellick, I think this is a great deal. $850K, that's a no-brainer. Chatfield, I feel like we're not going to have enough money for you. You want $3.6 million. I just can't do that. So we'll sign these guys to 2-way contracts, and then we'll get ready for the final season. Now we have $6 million, and I'm just looking to sign some cheap players for our third pairing. This is going to be one of the signings, 1.7 for the next 2 years. I don't know if he's going to be playing on the left or right side, because he can technically play on both. So I guess it's really just going to depend on who we walk away with here. And yeah, we're going to play that guy on the left side. And then this former Leafs prospect, he's going to be playing on the right side. I guess we are left with $4.7 million, so how about we just throw a bag at Ryan McLeod? We can bring the former Edmonton Oiler back to the team. Here's $4 million for 1 season. Or I guess it was 2 seasons, but same difference. Alright, never mind. We are not getting Ryan McLeod. He will not join the team. So if we're not going to walk away with Ryan McLeod, who are we actually going to be walking away with? Well, I guess we could walk away with David Perron, but I don't really know where he fits on our bottom 6. You know what? We're bringing him back to the team for one last dance. Vladimir Tarasenko, here's $4.4 million. You were here for the 1 cup run. Now you're going to be here for the 2nd. So here we go. We have our final season with Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. We're running basically the exact same top 6. Everyone's looked amazing. The third line's looking spectacular, but just take a look at this defense. 91 overall Wallman, 93 overall Evan Bouchard. I don't know why we're running these defensive pairings. Like, why would I want the 82 starting over the 84? That doesn't really make too much sense, but we're not going to question it too much. The defense is looking solid. The only question I have, Joey Daccord, have you dropped an overall more? Yes, you have. You've dropped to an A2. It makes no sense. Joey Daccord is technically our backup heading into this season, but you know what? That's not going to be the case. Once the postseason comes around, Joey Daccord will be the starter. He has been the guy the entire video, and he will be the guy to finish this video off with another Stanley Cup. Also, because of the cap situation for this team, we're not going to bother stopping at the trade deadline. We're going right to the end of the year. So here we go. It's the final season, and it only makes sense for the Edmonton Oilers to somehow finish 3rd in the entire league once again. I don't know why we've always finished 3rd in the entire league, but it is what it is. The Oilers are ready to win another cup, and with McDavid putting up numbers like this, there is no way we're being stopped. Pavel Dorfia, 83 points, 38 goals, 45 assists. Dylan Guenther, 30 goals, 75 points. Lock in. I need everyone on this team to lock in, and that includes Joey Daccord. I don't care if the numbers don't look that great. I don't care if he's an A2 overall. In Joey Daccord we trust. He's the goaltender for the postseason. We're taking on the LA Kings. Of course, we have to finish with this classic. Now, based on things that have happened in the past, I have made sure that Joey Daccord is going to be locked in for every postseason game, and that might be a mistake as we're allowing 6 goals in game 1, and we're dropping game number 2. We can't go out like this in the final season. Win a game against the LA Kings. Win 2 games against the LA Kings now. Joey Daccord is woken up. You woke up, Joey Daccord. Nah, you're cooked now. You are absolutely cooked. You just woke up Joey Daccord. Okay, maybe not. We allowed 4 goals. I thought after those 2 games, Joey Daccord woken up, and I thought he was ready to dominate. Maybe not quite. We have a big game 6 in front of us. We can't lose to the LA Kings in the first round. In the final year of this rebuild, we're locking in now. Joey Daccord only allowed 1 goal. This guy's all over the map right now. Joey Daccord is elite, then he's a fraud. Then he's elite for 2 games, then a fraud. We just need elite Joey Decord. So here we go. Game 7, the most important game. We're picking up 2 goals in the first period to LA's 1. Moving into the second, they're going to be tying this game up. Zach Hyman would pick up a late goal, but it's not going to be enough. So the third period is going to sell this one. McDavid, Draisaitl, y'all know what you have to do. And it's not going to be just McDavid and Draisaitl, and it's actually not going to be either of those guys. Dahlman, Tarasenko, Pavel Dorfia, Dylan Guenther, they're showing up, and we're off to the second round. LA had a chance to eliminate us, and they just couldn't do it. So the LA Kings are once again going to fall to the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. You can't make this up. We're moving on to the second round. We have the Anaheim Ducks. Joey Decord has seen a lot of success in the second round. Hopefully that's going to continue. We're winning game number 1, but dropping game 2. Game 3 is going to be very important, and we're going to win that one. Can we win game 4 as well? It doesn't look like it. So it's a best of 3 moving forward. Who's going to win game number 5? Arguably the most important game of this series. Well, it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers. One more victory is going to send us to the conference finals. Can we get that victory? No, we can't. We have to go to another game 7. But we are 1-0 so far in game 7s. Let's make it 2-0. Edmonton, you know what you have to do. Let's get the offense rolling and let's get the defense rolling. I want both of those things to be perfect. Teravainen's going to be picking up the first goal of the game, but Hyman and Pavel Dorfia are going to be responding. Moving into the second period, once again, we are in the same position. Is it going to be another 4-goal third period? I guess we're about to find out, and it's not going to be a 4-goal third period. However, we are off to overtime as each team has picked up 4 goals in this game. Who is going to score the most important overtime winner? Well, that's going to be Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl's picking up the OT winner. We're moving on to the conference finals. I am done with game 7s. We have played in enough game 7s. Let's stop messing around with game 7s. Let's just focus on ending these next 2 series early. So we're moving on to the conference finals, and we get the Vegas Golden Knights. We know what the Vegas Golden Knights are about, but they know what the Edmonton Oilers are about. We're winning game number 1, but dropping game 2. We're taking a 3-1 series lead. One more victory is all I'm looking for here. We're not going to win game 5. Do not drop game 6. I don't want to go to another game 7. Why are we doing this? Why does every series have to go to 7 games? Why do we always have to play a game 7 within 2 weeks of the last game 7? So here we go. Edmonton's picking up 3 goals in the first period. We have a 2-goal lead entering the third. Just don't collapse in the third period. We don't have to worry about that. In 2 weeks, we're going to be in another game 7. Like, it's literally happening just every 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we beat the Anaheim Ducks in game 7. 2 weeks before that, we beat the LA Kings. So we all know what's going to happen. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be winning another game 7. But who is that game 7 going to be against? Well, a team that you're definitely not expecting. It's going to be against the Buffalo Sabres. Yes, you heard me right. We have the Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup final. A chance to win another Stanley Cup, and all we have to do is beat the Buffalo Sabres, but we're down 3-1. This team just can't make anything simple. We just can't dominate and sweep a team. Nope, we have to go to game 7 in every series. We're picking up 3 straight goals in the first period. We actually ended up picking up 5 straight goals in this game. We're going to beat the Buffalo Sabres 7-5, and we're moving on to game 6. So game 6 is once again going to be a must win for the Edmonton Oilers. Can they win this game and force game 7? I have a feeling they're going to be able to do so. But we did allow 3 unanswered goals, and Mangiapane scoring one of them. That's certainly not ideal. Moving into the second period, it's going to be scoreless. Can the Edmonton Oilers find a way to force game 7 in the third period? Well, it looks like they still have a chance because Zach Hyman's picking up arguably the most important goal of the video. Can we score one more goal in overtime? Yes, we can. A short-handed goal from Paul Cotter, and we're back in game 7. Who could have predicted this except for absolutely everyone? Every 2 weeks, we have seen a game 7, and now it's the most important one. The final game of the video, the Buffalo Sabres and Edmonton Oilers, game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Who is going to win? We are 3-0 in game 7s. Let's make that 4-0. We're exchanging goals in the first period. Each team's going to be picking up 2 goals. Moving into the second, we're scoring another 2. Nick Paul would be responding, but is Buffalo going to have enough momentum moving into the third period to make the comeback? It doesn't look like it. Dylan Guenther is going to pick up a critical goal, and the Edmonton Oilers 4-0 in game 7s. We played as many games as humanly possible in this postseason run. We played 28 games here, but we won the most important ones, and the Edmonton Oilers are winning another Stanley Cup with McDavid. Now that was absolutely ridiculous. Leon Draisaitl 33 points, Zach Hyman 30 points, Connor McDavid 29, Matt Savoy 29, Dylan Guenther 28. We had a lot of big time goal scorers. Now I can only assume when looking at goaltenders, Joey Decord played every minute of every game. I don't think Soderblom jumped into any. I guess he did. I'm a little surprised Soderblom jumped into a couple of these games because I turned auto rotate goaltenders off so Joey Decord would not be replaced at all. But I guess if you're getting blown out in a game, they will just replace Soderblom, even though I have auto rotate turned to off. But we're not even going to worry about that because Joey Daccord, although the numbers look terrible, a 902 and a 325, you won the important games. Joey Daccord is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Hopefully the Edmonton Oilers can replicate the success I saw in this video in real life. McDavid, there is very few players I think deserve a cup more than you. And when I say very few, I mean like maybe 2.